Welcome back, guys, to yet another World of Warcraft video. This video in particular is going to be a little bit different, as you can tell from the title, but also the thumbnail on the video. We are going to be opening up our weekly vaults on the characters that I do play on. Now, recently I've been getting back into PvE again as one of the main things in the game, and I've been having a ton of fun with it. And something that people have been requesting is that they can actually get to see the vaults being opened together with me, and then I just talk about what it is that I get. Now, we are pretty far into the season, so obviously the amount of upgrades that we can get, at least on the main character, are not very high. What we're looking for here out of the vault, we have a pretty stacked vault, I would say is either a chest piece, tier piece, it would be legs, or it would be a mythic line trinket. Right, that's basically the only thing that we could be wanting. There's also the one-handed mace from Farak, but obviously the chances of that happening are pretty small since we've only killed him on heroic so far. Besides that, these are obviously going to be upgraded, and so are these. So that's not really a big deal. It's something that is going to be crafted anyway. So we're going to hope for a trinket upgrade or a tier piece upgrade. That's where we're at. Let's see what we are going to get. Let's check the loot spec, and we'll see. We'll see if we get lucky. Otherwise, it's going to be a socket angle. So we are looking at absolutely nothing from the looks of it. Yeah, just a whole lot of nothing. This ring in particular could be alright just because of the high haste on the ring. It might potentially sim better in certain situations if I move my stat weights around. But honestly, this is not that great. But if we're looking at any of the other things here, we don't really have anything that's good. And as for pieces to hold for potentially using a catalyst later on when we get more of those, we already have that, so we don't need that. I think I'm going to take this ring just because it's the high main stat haste. And I think in certain situations this might actually not be too bad. And this is a mythic line ring too, so I'm gonna take this instead of a socket this week for the Druid, and we'll see what kind of keystone we get as well, even though that doesn't really matter. Black or gold, alright. Well, we'll check this out later. This is realistically the best choice we could get out of all of that, I would say. Not the best, but also can't expect too much for where we're currently at on this Druid. Anyway, let's move on to the next character. Now, I've been playing a couple of different characters. Still working on more, still not fully decided what I'm going to play next as I go alt to alt. The next one in line is going to be my warrior, and that is a Fury warrior. We also have the Paladin and the Hunter. The Paladin is also pretty geared. The Hunter is very new. I only started working on it this last week, so it doesn't have as stacked of a vault as the Warrior will, and also not as the Paladin will. The Druid had the most stacked one because that's the one I mythic rate on. So obviously because of reclears, we had some bosses down for the mythic line track and raid. But my Fury warrior does clear the heroic raid, and so does my Ret Paladin. So if we get any of the piss items from that, then that is going to be nice. Otherwise, we're looking for myth line upgrades. And as you can see, this warrior is actually higher eye level than my main, which is really funny. I've been a little more lucky on this guy, so it's been pretty interesting. But what we are looking for here out of this is we're either looking for myth line upgrades to any of the stuff that we already have. We don't really have any except a weapon. I would take a second weapon. That'd be great. It's very big for Fury warrior. We also have, of course, this one, but that doesn't really count because it's augury. A myth line Might of the Ocean would be nice, but honestly, we can literally almost every single slot. There's not a single place where we wouldn't take an upgrade. We wouldn't take it on these just because of the fact that we get the embellishment on that, and the cloak not really either, but all the other ones that are not crafted, we would even take it on the ring here. So let's see what we get. Generating some loot for Fury here. Let's see. We get lucky. We don't, from the looks of it. We do have Leech, but we already have Avoidance on that. This is not a bad ring, but it's only hero line, so I'm not going to take it. We do get a myth line, Anthea's ring. Now, I already have this ring with a socket on here, and a socket is a pretty big deal. Obviously, this one is going to be able to get an additional 6 eye level, so the amount of stats it will get compared to the socket, I don't think it's enough. So realistically, we could take this and put a socket into it. It's not that that would be bad. But we are looking at an Archdruid's Tainted Seal here with a socket. Now, we do already have quite a lot of mastery on this guy. But I think we can move around some stats to accommodate for this one, considering it has a socket and haste. Well, mastery haste is really, really good. But also we don't need these. So I would say the best opportunity we have here is the Archdruid's Tainted Seal with a socket on it. It's very important. That's a double line upgrade. I don't know how good this will be. I know this is going to be an upgrade though, just because of the way that we'll move around stats on rings. But we'll see how good it is. Also, we do have a 476 crafted ring here, and we would need to use 60 aspects on actually making this 10-9 levels higher. I think we're just not going to do that, and we're going to save it for Mythline tracks instead for upgrades this week. I think that's going to be better. That's probably going to be a better opportunity. But yeah, this is not too bad. We got a 24 Raycrest Manor as well. I don't like that dungeon, but yeah, not too shabby. Not too shabby of a pull. It's a good ring. It's a really good ring for Fear Warriors. So I'll be holding on to that. Let's check out the Paladin. Let's see what we might be looking at on the Paladin. On the Paladin, there's it's also pretty geared, by the way. I think it's 480. But it's the same situation with the Fear Warrior. I think this character in particular has 0 mythic line upgrades. There are a couple of crafted pieces that, of course, we don't want to replace just because they're eventually going to get upgraded anyway, and we don't have to wait for luck. Now, a weapon, mythline weapon here would be really nice because we have a decent weapon. It's just not exactly what we want. We also could take mythline upgrades on trinkets. We could use a new pair of shoulders from Mythic Plus as well. So if we get shoulders, if we get a weapon or trinkets, that's actually really where we want to be. Besides that, I mean, I already have 2 rings here with sockets, so I can't really ask for something that's much better than this. So yeah, it's going to be hero line upgrades, potentially to tier or shoulders or a hero line or I mean mythic line for the weapon. Let's see what we can get. It's a pretty stacked vault as well in this one. Hopefully we get lucky here. It seems that we do not. On the other hand, though, we do get a branch of the Tormented Ancient. This is a very good AoE trinket for Ret Paladin in particular. I think I'm going to take this just because we have the Cataclysmus Signet brand at 476, but we can actually get this one to 483. And considering this one is AoE, I do a lot more Mythic Plus on my ults. I usually only like main raid, obviously top of the line on the main. But still, having a good trinket for AoE is never a bad thing. And I don't think... I mean, okay, these shoulders are actually a little bigger. These are Mythline shoulders. They're crit haste. But they are Mythline shoulders. And that's a 16 eye level upgrade. And we can also get those to 49. I think these are going to be just based on the main stat that we're going to get from these. This is probably the better choice. Because we might potentially swap out with tier in shoulders, but eventually we'll have a catalyst charge and we could just turn these into tier. I think that's going to be the better option here. We still have a full run of heroic that we can actually do, and we don't have bad trinkets overall, but we do have really, really, really bad shoulders. So I think that's going to be the best situation. Oh, it's actually Leech Ring but no socket. I'm going to take these shoulders. I am. The eye level upgrade is too big to pass up, I think. That's what we're going to take here. Not too shabby, not too shabby. We're going to get to 41 on the Paladin here at the start of the week. I do not mind it at all. We're gonna go out here and fix the transmog because obviously that is very important, as we all know. And then we'll check the last character that we have. Now, the hunter here is still very new. It's like 450, 460, but I did get somewhat of a full vault. We did 120 and the other ones were 17s. After the hunter, I actually don't really know what I'm going to start working on after that. The potentials are currently mage, a shaman, or maybe monk, but I haven't decided yet. I do want to start a big portion of different characters just to play them at a high level, just to get the taste of everything, but also just to have the different play styles and be able to play with a bunch of different people and not feel like I'm not getting anything out of it. Because on something like my Druid, when I'm done with filling up the vault for the week, or we've already raided, then doing dungeons doesn't give me anything, right? There's no aspects to farm probably at that point. There's no gear to farm. So it feels better being on alts because then I still get something out of it while also being able to play with other people, and it's just like a double tier thing. But it's also fun to play a bunch of different classes. So here we go. We also do have a normal raid vault on here, so there might be some potential for tier. On this character in particular, we do not have any tier at all. So if we do get a tier piece out of the vault, we can go and create the 4 piece already, right? Because we're looking at we're gonna wait obviously until we have hero line gear in the tier slot, so we can just catalyst it like that. But if we do end up getting a tier piece out of the vault here, that would be very nice. That would be very nice indeed. Okay, so we are not looking at anything that we would want here, but we are looking at a mythic line ring. This is verse haste, not great, but looking at a 424 ring, this is a very big upgrade. We also have a caged horror here. I don't think that this trinket in particular is performing that well. So we're probably not going to do any of that. We are, on the other hand, looking at a tier piece here, and this is a head piece. So in a situation like this, we're looking at a ring, but because of the main stat upgrade, I think the main stat is going to be better to take. Also because this is a hero line piece that's already 4 out of 6. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this tier piece, just because it puts us one step closer to getting that. Now, when we actually end up getting it, that's going to be great. But what we're looking at right now is we have hero line legs, we have hero line chest piece, and now we also have the tier piece here, but that's also hero line. So now what we're looking for is a pair of shoulders or a pair of gloves, and then we can get the full 4 set on the hunter as well, and then we can really start pumping. And that's going to be great. That's going to be good fun. We also got a 20 thread on the tides. I mean, having a 20 on a key is, on a 455, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's a little bit different from what we're used to on this channel. If you guys liked it, make sure you drop a like on the video, and also let me know down below in the comments if you would like to see more. If you're also hanging out at the end towards of this video, then let me know if you would like to see maybe some like high keys or more of these videos in the future. But either way, I appreciate you guys watching the video, and I'll see you on the next one.